Yes?
Yes?
Pitfall.
Yes?
Yes?
Pitfall and Stampede by Activision?
Sure.
For a television.
No. Activision doesn't make video games for
You
Intel.
too. Pitfall, that challenging jungle adventure game that dares you to find the treasure, and Stampede, that rope them doggies roundup game.
Negative.
Pitfall and Stampede by Activision.
I'll blow this town to smithereens! Time bomb! Try to get up there in time, Spider-Man!
Watch me cut my web, Goblin.
Watch yourself fall, Silk Slinger!
Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. These are the video games of November 1982.
Spider-Man!
That's right, go Spidey go! The last game we were playing on the Tomy Tutor, or the Pewta, was Scramble. Let's see what our next game is. We're next going to the Apple II to play Sea Fox. Let's dive in and see what Sea Fox is all about. This one is our 410th game we've played on the Apple II, an arcade-style game by Ed Hobbs. Way to go, Ed. Oh, nice. We got submarines. Hopefully we get to shoot a lot of stuff. And there's dolphins too, I guess. This is a terrible front of the box, at least the Apple II version. We'll see some cleaned up ones later. But we flip it over on the Mac. There we go. It's two different versions. I believe we got disc version and cartridge version. Excitement and Danger Under the Seas. 5 different skill levels. Keyboard or joystick controlled. All this on your Apple II. Nice. This one's by Broderbund. This is over the 30 games we played by Broderbund Software. They are all over the place. What other artwork do we have for Sea Fox? There we go. I knew I promised a cleaned up one. Reconstructed box covers. Makes it look all nice and shiny again. This is the very first time we've seen Edward R. Hobbs do a video game. This is it. Sea Fox. Whether it was on Apple II or the other version we're going to check out, we'll see enough. There's the 5 1/4 floppy disk for Sea Fox with an example of the screenshot. And we have the manual too. How do we play? You'll start the game with 3 submarines. You press button 0 for joystick or paddle control. And there's the control movements if you use keyboard controls. As the submarine captain, you have to destroy all the merchant ships in order to move on to your next mission. Try not to hit hospital ships. It's a violation of international law. Negative consequences can be pretty immediate. So we'll see when we get into that part. Your sub has a limited supply of fuel and torpedoes, but they're replenished. A supply sub is going to pass by near the ocean, and a trained dolphin will carry fuel and torpedoes for us. Well, that's nice. We also have giant clams that may interfere with fueling, so take them out. There's the point values for everything. We have to know what the points are because it's November 1982. And there's some special keys on our Apple II. All right, everyone got it? Here we go. Let's pop it and play Sea Fox. This is Broderbund Software, the beginning of November 1982. I am excited to see what Broderbund's going to give us. And the very first game by Edward R. Hobbs. If you get a chance, look him up. Oh, look at this intro. Nice. The presentation is very, very good. Turning the logo into the periscope. Awesome. No sound, but all these little nuances for video games. I love all this. We're seeing the beginnings of it. Beautiful. All right, so all we got to do is, hit the button on the joystick. Now, the Apple II has 2 buttons, and we saw this really, really prevalent in Choplifter because you really needed 2 buttons to play the game. A lot of other home computers only use 1 button, though, so I'm glad we got 2. All right, so there you go. After hit 1 button, it knows we want to use a joystick. I have an analog joystick all ready to go, and then this is the pseudo attract mode. Oh, I really wish it did. We'll see if we can kill some clams maybe when we start it up. All right, so here we go. Pushing a button in, and mission 1, start. I'm able to control and move the sub all the way around. Oh, that has a plus on the side, so I cannot... it has a cross on the side of that ship, so if you shoot the cross, that's what they said in the manual, it will ricochet back at us. I essentially just have 2 shots. I can shoot 1 button to shoot forward and 1 button to shoot on top. And I'm supposed to hit all vessels, everything. I need to destroy it all. If you look at the bottom of the screen, they're letting know our fuel and torpedo count. Fuel is kind of like the timer, I guess. I think it's just constantly going down. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference when at least it doesn't seem that way. There's one of the supplies. Give me the dolphin. Yes, thank you, dolphin. No clams, though. Didn't try to steal it. We're getting the usual sound affair on the Apple II. The sound effects do sound like farting once again, or similar Choplifter sounds if you want to be kinder. But what you see here is essentially it's a shoot 'em up. It's taking place on one screen. We're not really scrolling as a shoot 'em up, but I like this because it's kind of a variant of Seawolf. It's a new, different way to do Seawolf, being able to shoot forward and on top, and you can even use that ricochet to take out more enemies. Let's get another dolphin in there. There it is. Get that. Oh, I missed the clam. So yeah, it is. It's basically a fixed shooter. We're able to move around. We have more freedom to move around than just move left, right, and fire, kind of like Centipede. But this one marks the 370th game across all systems that's been a fixed shooter. I really like this one because this game allows you to redefine your inputs too. So if you don't like the keyboard controls and that's all you got, you can change it up. Yeah, I know, it's like well, it's not really a mix between Defender because we're not really scrolling around the screen left and right. I like the ricochet idea, but I don't really have a lot of firepower. I just got 2 shots. Kind of the same rules that we've seen with shooters. Okay, so I think we have one more ship to take up. No, this one? No, this one. No, this one. Let's see if we can shoot him. No. He did take that one. Nice. And eventually when you kill enough enemies, then you move on to the next mission. The mission style, though, is just things are going to get more frenetic and fast. We're not going to see a lot of different enemy types. I'm seeing a lot of vibes, though, of Seawolf, and this is the 11th game we played that's a variant of Seawolf. Yes, we can blow up the clams. Love it. And this is the 42nd game we've played that you are piloting a submarine up to this point. But it's very simple, gets the job done of all the games you could play up to this point. Seawolf is fun. You would enjoy this on your Apple II. It's not breaking new ground or doing anything too crazy or impressive. I would say still around the average range for all the games you could play across all home computers. Yeah, clam chowder it is. I love being able to blow stuff up, and I hope we keep continuing to shoot things over and over again. Yeah, there we go. No, wait, that's right. That's right. Curtis says, same person did Star Blazer. No way. So yeah, the Ricochet may bump it up a notch. I like the presentation, though, but I'll also say 3 stars of all the games you could play up to this point. Yeah. Oh, nice. We're going to see that one way later, Chiptune. But that's not all. We're also going to see Seawolf on the Atari home computer. Let's check it out. Here's the box for Seawolf. It looks exactly the same, except it has the cartridge version, too. Now, the last one we played, that was the cart version on the Apple II. There is a disc version, and the disc version does play a little bit different. But here, I think the cartridge version is the way we're going to go. You can see it's pretty much the same. 5 different levels of play, joystick controlled. And yeah, we got our Atari VCS joystick plugged in for this one. So excited. I like to play on that one. Oh, yeah. It had an adapter. Yeah, there was an adapter for it. All right, so there you go. There's the ad you would have seen in magazines for the time. On the left is AE, which we've already seen on home computers, or a few home computers, and there is CFox. And there's our cart. Very easy to plug in and play on your Atari. Yes, CFox. Here's the manual for CFox. We have the option button at any time to pause. Interesting. Using option, usually it's spacebar on the Atari to pause. Torpedoes are fired with a quick press of the joystick button, but a longer press will fire forward. Interesting. Submarine movement is controlled by the joystick as submarine captain. Wait a second, did I say that right? Oh, I did say that right. Wait a second, hold on. There is no cartridge on the Apple II. I was mixing the two up, right? Yeah, I was. There is only the 5 1/4 floppy disk for CFox. On the Atari is both the disc and the cartridge version. So yeah, not the Apple II version. Yeah, thanks so much. I think it was Brad that said it in the chat. All right, so for this one, we're gonna show two different versions because it says here that you hold down the joystick button to do one style of fire and then another, because we only have one red button. On the Apple II, we have two buttons, but here you only got one. Same scores, everything to play the game as we saw on the Apple II, but this one we got the two different versions. So I want to play first on the cartridge version. This is, again, by Ed Hobbs in the beginning of November 1982. Yeah, use that left slot. That's right. You bet, Brian. All right, so this one, it goes right into the game as the attract mode. And whenever you're ready to play, do I just push the red button? I do. Nice. And we go. All right, so if I just tap the button, I fire up. Yeah, and I just have one shot at a time, just like I did on the Apple II. Sound effects are better than they were on the Apple II. 3 subs, shows my lives and torpedoes. And yep, just like they said in the manual, if you hold down the button, that's how you fire forward. Oh, but if, like you saw right there, if your shot is still on the screen, then you can't fire again. So if you miss the shot, you're out of luck. All right, let's do a tap and then a press. So I'm doing all this with one button. So I really like the controls for the Apple II just because I have 2 buttons to work with. This one reminds me of when we played, again, Choplifter, which again was also by Broderbund. Okay, here comes our dolphin. Give me some supplies. No, we missed him. Because when we played Choplifter, I had to do the same thing. I had to use one, I had to tap a button for one kind of control for Choplifter and then hold it down for another. Let's see if we can go there and then there. But it still works. It still plays fairly well for all the games, you could say. Yeah, it seems a little bit faster too. Oh. Oh, no. There we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, see right there? I had to hold down the button to hit the clam. Oh, yeah, so still great. Yeah, sound effects sound... They actually sound closer to what we would hear on the Atari VCS, because we're on the Atari home computer. Actually, may sound a little bit better than that, but yeah, definitely better than the Apple II farts. Unless you have a soft spot for the Apple II fart sounds. Someone out there probably does. All right, so here you go. Dolphin, come at me. Oh, see, I missed. That clam wants to grab him. But there you go. You go destroying all subs, mission by mission, and you have a lot of fun. So that's CFox, the card version. Now, check out the disc version. Sorry for mixing it up earlier before. So this version is, the controls are different. It's like they didn't want to have to hold down the button, and I'm with them on that. Why, if you don't like the controls on it, the disc version actually plays way different, and actually gives you more firepower too. Let's check it out. Yeah, I'm thinking the same, Brian. Around 3 stars of all the games you could play. Usually when we get ports, there's if they're pretty much identical or maybe slightly different, I don't really rate them as harshly or change the rating as the other ones. Okay, so let's go right in. Mission 1. Now check this out. There is no forward facing. There is only firing 3 missiles. You can shoot 3 at a time, which means you can do lots of cool ricochets like that against the other ones. And then, well, don't make sure you don't hit your own, because if I try holding down the button, then it doesn't do a thing when I hold it down. Yeah. All it does is just fire more. So you got 3 shots to work with, and you might be able to get some cool ricochets to blow up the other subs, but that's about it. Yeah. Yeah, I love the sounds, though. All right, there you go. Both versions of CFox. We usually don't do that, but that was a little bit different considering the other games we see on home computers. And this example, by the way, is, we don't do this all the time, but there is sometimes differences between the cart, the disc, and the tape versions of video games. All right, so of all the games you can play, it's still 3 stars across all home computers. All right, that's Sea Fox. Let's see. By the way, this game is not done. We're going to see Sea Fox later on the Commodore 64 and the Commodore VIC-20 sometime around 1983. And this was the 395th game for the Atari home computer. We're still close to 400 games. Yeah, if you had the same rating, rate it again, same way. All right, let's see what our next game is. We're going back to the Apple II now. This is Sheila. There's a lot to unpack with Sheila. First of all, the name. We've never heard of a video game named after a woman's name, and this is the first one. I think so. Maybe you should check my records on that one. Here's the box for Sheila. This one's by HAL Labs, not to be confused with HAL Laboratory. That's a completely different company. This is HAL Labs. Usually Brian Fitzgerald, which is the one who did this game, is part of this company. This is the third game we've seen by them. The other games have been Taxman and Super Taxman 2. All that from HAL Labs, H-A-L Labs. An arcade-type game by Brian Fitzgerald. Way to go, Brian. Here's the ad you would have seen from magazines, which has a totally different box than the other box. So there's a lot of mystery to this game. I don't really know what's going on. Like in this box, I think that's Sheila, because you're supposed to be rescuing her. She needs your help. It's only been an hour since she's locked in the tower. Leap into the mythical high-resolution world of Sheila. It's real-time adventure saga littered with traps, puzzles, magic spells, various monsters. You control a sophisticated arcade-like arsenal of bombs, spears, teleport pills. All this is from the advertising flyer. There's the 5 1/4 floppy disk right there with a reconstructed one and an example of the screenshot. All right, so this one has, I actually have two versions. One is the 4 a.m. crack, the cleanly cracked version, but it doesn't work. Some of the controls don't work so well. And then I have this one that modifies the controls. That's the one we're going to play, but I'm interested to know if there's another version out there because it seems to be buggy, like the game has some issues to it. Let's pop in Sheila and play our 411th game on the Apple II. Brian Fitzgerald. Let's do it. All right, there we go. So we can do, I want to do modified controls because, man, there's a lot of controls in this game. You do have the ability to redefine your own controls if you have the cleanly cracked version of the game or the original version of the game. But there is a bunch. You have controls to shoot in different directions. You have a control for bomb, for spear. You have a control to use super, you have some power-ups in the game too. This is showing all the different objects and items, and that's us at the top. We look like a shield, I guess is the best way to describe it. But there's a lot going on with the game. I'm going to try to do my best to explain Sheila. And then as it goes through, I'm just going to click through. It's just showing a few of the mazes. We have 1 bomb, 1 spear, 2 teleport pills. There's our life. And we have a 1,000 wabs to rescue Sheila. So we got a time limit to rescue Sheila too. All right, here we go. There's all the floors. We're going to enter in at the bottom floor. The purple level, I guess it would be. There we go. We're in. So you can move up, down, left, and right. It's almost like we're doing a top-down maze game. And if you look over right above my head, it shows how many spears I have left, how many bombs, and then how many teleports I have. If I go into different rooms like this one, it'll sometimes give me items. And my life is currently at 99. Oh, okay. That wasn't a storage room. This goes to the next floor. So we're on this floor, and what we're looking for is a way to teleport through this side. And I need to be able to make it. Let's just knock that guy out. I use my 1 spear to hit him. And then I think I have a bomb I can drop. I'll see if it... Let's drop it right there. Oh, darn. Since we have a health meter, then as we hit enemies, you notice my health went down. I'll try to avoid my bomb and then work my way back to this side. Oh, he followed me. Darn. And we have other enemies there. Oh, I'm just using my life now. So I can go into this room. Do I get anything? Nothing there. Oh, there we go. Nice. Got 4 spears and 2 bombs from this one. All right, so let's keep moving. We have an inventory system that's being shown on the right side of the screen. We still have the time limit, and now I have some spears I can use to hit other enemies or lay bombs. I have some more rooms I can go in to explore and pick up more items. Nothing found in there, but let's go in this one. This is where the interesting item is. Let's go this way. There it is. If you see right here above my head over on that side, we just picked up the shrinking item. It is the coolest part of this game because now I can change my size into different tiny sizes. I can actually shrink and grow my character. It almost makes me think of when we played Super Pac-Man in the arcade, but this one's not a power-up that you have to pick up. We can now do it at will. If we are larger in size, we can take more damage. Our life meter doesn't go down as far. And as we go smaller in size, we take more energy, but we can slip through passages and sneak around. Like if I want to sneak through these tiny corridors, I can get small and come into this spot, like here, and hide. I've noticed there's some graphical artifacts that are in the game that make the game almost like it's unpolished or unfinished. It may have been rushed, but this one is the third game we've seen by Brian Fitzgerald after the Taxman games, which were like Pac-Man, but this one is like Pac-Man on steroids. So after we've shrunk it down, we should be able to make our way over to this side, and then we go here, and now we can go to the next floor. So we're working our way up. I think we're on level 3 now. Yeah, so you can see now we're on level 3. I am in a medium size already. And you can already see some of the artifacting of colors happening here. I think I got a spear I should be able to shoot out. No, and I think our health went down too far. You're dead, and Sheila is unrescued. Maybe someone else will rescue her. Get ready for you to enter purgatory to be judged. The other part of this game that's so cool is if you have 100 life points when all are lost and you enter purgatory, which means you have a chance for resurrection and continuing your game. So your body isn't lost completely unless you really have, all right, here we go. The gods have smiled on you and you've given you another chance to rescue. So I have a chance to continue. This is the coolest continue we've seen in a video game. Here we go, to try to rescue. Ready? Here we go. So there's always this purgatory option if you have enough health. So cool. And then you can, otherwise you have to restart a new adventure. So it's almost like there's permadeath that exists, but it's permadeath with a caveat of purgatory. All right, so let's check out some other rooms to see if we find anything else. There's also lots of different enemy types here too. So I could go through, the inventory system, the items you need to use. In a way, this is like a proto-action RPG because there's also a very small level up system. Oh, I lost my my grow and shrink thing. So every maze that you play is the same maze. You do have different ways you can teleport through walls and so forth. Let's see if we can get through this. I'll just go to the next floor. Health is pretty low right there. Yeah, that's what it makes me feel like too. Okay, he's coming around this side. But there's lots of different enemy types to learn their patterns. I love that there's like very little RPG elements to this game. I like the continue option that's here. That's very unique. Let's see if we can go get the grow and shrink thing, because now I want to know what other things are in this game besides this. So you come into this room here. This is where you can grow and shrink. There is a downside to the game though. It's only keyboard controlled, so you cannot. Let's go there. I see I dropped a bomb. Let's drop another one. Oh, I don't have any more bombs. There's no joystick that you can play with this one, but you can shrink in size, which is so cool. Oh, but I'm going to lose health so fast. Yep. Get away. Okay, I can't believe I survived that. Okay, let's go to the right size, and we can go to level 3, and you just have to make your way through floor by floor. And at this point, I would have had a blast playing a game like this, exploring, wanting to see what the different items do. There's mystery to this one because there's not any paperwork preserved for Sheila that you can just look. It's almost like you're going to play it as if it was released back in November 1982. I know, what's the duck for? I don't know. Can you pass through the walls? There's just things that you could find and secrets to uncover. If you get used to the controls, it is a very difficult game to control, keyboard controlled only with lots of options. Different enemy types. You want to be able to find all the weapons you can, see all the different floors, and then it even has the rescue the damsel in distress. Can you save Sheila? Let's see if we can go here. Yeah, go in the tiny, look at that, you can sneak through the corridors. Just a great idea for a game. It's so much fun. Yeah, this is the very first video game we've seen that allows you to, while you're playing the game, shrink and grow and change the size of your character, different things. So really fun to play. Because of the bugginess and because of the keyboard controls, I'd go lower. But if it wasn't because of all that, I'd actually give this a much higher rating for all the games you could play across all home computers. It's essentially a beefed up Pac-Man, a top-down maze game, but it has more going for it. But because it's one of those titles that has this great ambition, but it falls flat in a few places. Yeah, right? It depends how buggy it is, James, too. So I'm actually not going to go as high as I'd want. I would think in 4, but I'm going to go lower than that. I see mostly 3.5s. but it'd be fun to explore and play. I'm going to go 3.5 for now for all the games you can play on all home computers. It's an above average game for sure. Yeah, there you go. Very confusing controls if you can bear with it. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is after this commercial break.
I'll blow this town to smithereens.
Oh my gosh, it's
Try to get up there in
nightmares
time,
for
Spider-Man.
kids all over the world.
Reclaim my web, Goblin.
Watch yourself fall, Silk Slinger.
Gotta stop the bombs and ties.
If I don't get you, webhead, my diagnostics will.
Holy Hannah!
And you're running out of
Come on, you can do it.
fluid.
Is this more action than even Spider-Man can handle?
Spider-Man, a video game from Parker Brothers, the ones to beat.
Will we be able to? Find out now. It's Spider-Man for the Atari 2600. I can't believe we finally got to Spider-Man. This is awesome. Here's the box for Spider-Man. Oh yeah, on the Atari. This is the very first Spider-Man in a video game, the actual superhero. Now, we saw Superman on the Atari for superheroes, but there was another Spider-Man game called The Amazing Spider-Man Rescue. That was a handheld by Bandai, but I'm not going to count that one. Sorry, there's no screen at all, so it doesn't count. This one is the first. Spider-Man as a video game. It is only on the Atari 2600, and it's the 177th game we've played on the Atari. And this is another one of those licensed video games. It is using, it doesn't even say Marvel on here. Yeah, it just has the trademark for Spider-Man, but the front of the box lets you know we're playing as Spider-Man. Let's do this. The exciting Spider-Man adventure. Drama, action, suspense. I don't know about all of that in the video game. Man, they really do promise a lot with video games right there. In the back, we have lots of screenshots of how to play. They're actually explaining how to play because this is a mechanic we have not seen on any video game. Yeah, that was scary. Or maybe that was Willem Dafoe without any makeup on doing the commercial. We're not going to see that one until way later. Oh, man, we got a lot with this one. All right, here's the artwork for Spider-Man. There may have been a homebrew release or a later release that's for the Odyssey 2, because if you remember, Frogger came out for both the Atari 2600 and the Odyssey 2, and this one was no exception. Parker Brothers did that one too, but Frogger was only in Europe. This one, they had a complete version of Spider-Man, and it was released later on the Magnavox Odyssey 2, but we're never going to see it here on Chronologically Gaming, because I think it's after 2005 when it was released. So this is it. It's only on the Atari 2600. There we go. Add you would have seen for the time. Jack Wheaton, Student by Day, Spider-Man by Night. With some other games. Oh, we haven't seen them yet. Amadar and Tutankhamun. Oh, Amadar we have, but not Tutankhamun. Not yet. Oh, man, yeah. And the other thing, too, is we've had video games that were released with the comic books for the Atari 2600. I'm surprised that there wasn't a comic book like coming in the cartridge, but there was advertisements that had the comic books, and I'm sure the actual Marvel comics had comics based on it like this. So this is an example of one of them. Yeah, there was the version we said we had before. Yeah, I'm just surprised that we don't have a comic book that you actually got when you bought the game. All right, so there you go, Spider-Man. Oh man, they have the comic in the ads. Great. Is this more action than even Spider-Man can handle? No, trust me, it's not. Yeah, there we go. Even some more examples of. I got to show the comics because it's the primary focus of the game. You want to be able to play as Spider-Man or be like Spider-Man. Oh, look at this. So much. The hype is really big. At this point, there was a 1981, 1982 television show. That's what we had showing in the background. That was what you would have seen on television that would have gotten you in that. Maybe it is. So there you go. Even more comics. There is the Parker Brothers cartridge that we're going to be popping into the Atari to play. Yeah, this is Parker Brothers' 5th game that we've seen on home consoles. They've had lots of handheld games, but on home consoles, we've seen Star Wars, Frogger on both the Atari VCS and the Odyssey 2, and Amadar. And here we go. We got some fan art. Yeah, for Spider-Man. All right. How do we play? You really need to know. This is new. Spider-Man is new. The object is to defuse as many super bombs as possible and score the most points along the way. The controls, we have a game select switch, and I think we have 6 different game select switches, and then reset to begin. Joystick controls, make sure it's plugged in. It shows you how to shoot web here, firing the red button. use a web line, and scale the skyscraper. During your climb, Spider-Man, by the way, cannot climb the walls, even though he's Spider-Man. He can only shoot web. So if you try to use the joystick and climb walls, it just won't work. You have to keep shooting your web. There's the entire skyscraper. Oh, nice. You'll never see everything pictured here at the same screen. Spider-Man has to advance up and down. You mean there's scrolling? Mind-blowing. You have 3 Spider-Men, or 3 lives, and you have a limited amount of web fluid. Web fluid really doesn't matter what you do when you shoot. It's kind of like the time limit, if you want to think of that. And then scaling the building, it shows you how to shoot your web to get to the top. Every time that you are slinging your web and pass a criminal, then you capture them. You get points, and Spider-Man gets more web fluid. You try to get higher and higher, and you can even defuse bombs the same way. When you get to the top, if you can get to the top, the timer or the main bomb needs to be exploded, and you get that by slinging your web and swinging across to touch it. How to approach the super bomb, you need to know because this is all new. There is different difficulty levels as well. And then it says the game ends when you have no Spider-Men left. You've lost them all. If you play a 2-player game, you're going to do hot seat style and take turns. All right, and there is 6 different game variations: 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, and 5 for 1 player, 2, 4, and 6 for 2 player. We don't have anybody here to play with. It's only one Spider-Man. This is available in PAL regions by Parker Brothers and by Starsoft. Let's pop in Spider-Man. This is by Lauren Nikolic and Parker Brothers in the beginning of November 1982. Nice. All right, so the game boots up with just this, you standing there as Spider-Man. We have the different difficulty levels, but this is the very first video game that we've seen that has Marvel in it, or anything with Marvel, any video game ever. This is the first time we've seen an official Spider-Man game, and right here I'm already getting the vibes of Crazy Climber. This is the 4th game that we've seen. There's 4 games that have been the official Crazy Climber games, and 4 games that were variants of Crazy Climber that we've seen on the show up to this point. All right, so here we go. Let's go with game mode 1 and begin. You get a little ditty to play, and I move the joystick and nothing happens because Spider-Man does not climb. He only shoots his web, and whatever direction you are pointing is where the web's going to go. So if I point the web at an angle, it'll shoot the web. Oh, but your web has to come in contact with the building. If it comes out with contact with anything blue or on the sky, then it won't work. So you basically want to use your web, swing back and forth. That's how you capture the bad guys. And then whenever you use the joystick, that's how you can climb up to the next point of the web. So if you want to be able to take out some enemies, you can continue to scale. And this is kind of a cool feature. I like this. And if I use the joystick, I can actually lengthen and take out more enemies. But if there's an enemy in the way of your web, then you're going to fall to your death. And we're already losing Spider-Man just because I'm demonstrating how the game works. And you can catch yourself. If you fall off, if you're good enough with your web, you need to get good at how to shoot the web after you've already fallen down. Like this. There. And scale to the top. Yeah, the very bare bones physics is really neat right now to play like that. Now, there are bombs you can defuse, but it makes no difference. If Spider-Man defuses them or not, these miniature bombs, who cares? Keep going to the top here. This whole mechanic is just so cool. Just because we played so many games, even Crazy Climber was a cool idea, but this one is amazing that this was implemented on the Atari to play this way. And there he is, the Green Goblin. On this mode, he moves fairly slow, but you just have to make sure your web makes contact with it. And then here we go. Let's see if we can do it. Nope. Let me wait a little bit. Can I get... No. Now, you see what I had to do. I'm very carefully making sure that the web makes contact with only the building. So if you make contact with the blue, that's why you're going to fall down. Yeah, that's true. It's like a very early grappling hook, right? There you go. I'm going to angle myself the right way, and I'm letting go of the joystick right in the right spot. You can see I disarmed that bomb. You just basically do that for points, but there's not any point to the game to do that. Let's go move ourselves over there and go up there. Now let's go here and then... No! No! Oh, man. That's so close. I'm almost out of web fluid. That's the really... That's the big thing that's going to get you. Because if you look, it's right below my shoulder. It's slowly going down. Here, I'll scooch myself over. As you can see, the web fluid is just very slowly ticking away. But I love this because it's new. It's something different, and it's just a fresh idea. And it actually is really fun playing a Spider-Man like this. All right, so here we go. Up to the top. We're almost out of web fluid. No! Get it, quick! Oh, one of the... And then we ran out of web fluid, and then Spider-Man plunges to his death because he cannot climb walls, even though he's Spider-Man. He does everything a Spider-Man can except climb walls. That's just how it works around here. So the 2D scrolling on the Atari is very impressive, actually. Whenever you are moving up on the screen, it's rare. Because most of the time we see that if it's a racing game or a shooting game, and this is not doing that. This is, you are deciding when you want to scroll the screen vertically. It's pretty cool. We played Haunted House, which allows you to do that. Laser Blast by Activision, which has scrolling like that. Soccer, Chopper Command, Defender, Star Wars, Riddle of the Sphinx, Mines of Minos, Crazy Climber does it, Dragon Stomper, International Soccer, Mega Force, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. But this is the first one that allows you to sling the web. Go, go, go. All right, here we go. Yes, we did it. We saved the day. If you decide to just hang down below, this is the second building, by the way, but if you decide just to hang down here and take out enemies and bombs, if you just want to rack up at the highest points possible, it's like the developers knew that. I think Laura Nikolic knew it, because if you stay down here long enough, then the Green Goblin sets a timer, and you have to quickly get to the top before the timer goes out. It's a way to keep people from just hanging around getting bonus points instead of completing the objective. It's just pretty funny. All right, there you go. A quick taste of Spider-Man on the Atari 2600. My first experience with Spider-Man was minimal. I actually saw and played the game, and I didn't have as good of experience. I wasn't used to or understood how to sling the web, or when you would climb up the web and when you would just shoot the web. So I dismissed it as, this game's garbage. But now, after seeing everything you could play right now across all home consoles, Spider-Man is actually very fresh and cool. It's a very fun idea. It's also a video game that, while it does repeat like arcade games, it has an objective. You have a goal to get to the top of the building, and you want to see what the next building is, whatever color it is, and defuse more and more bombs. So I'm actually going to be, I'm impressed for this for a home console game. Looking over in the chat, I see 4s, 3.5s, I see 3-ish, but then there's also the controls are really what makes you want to play the game. It's something new. So I'm actually going to go higher and say 4 stars of all the games you could play. Oh yeah, Manly, definitely. The stiff learning curve is there as well, but I'll still say 4. It's a great game on home consoles right now for all the games you can play across all home consoles. Play it and see for yourself. All right, now we got to put our video game playing on pause. Thanks for bearing with me. Everyone that was here for the live show, I forgot to put the commercial in. You can't play Spider-Man without seeing the crazy, scary, nightmare-fueled commercial. Well, we're gonna be playing lots more video games across all systems like we always do. But next time on Chronologically Gaming, we aren't even doing Chronologically Gaming at all. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I just want to play the best video games that we've seen up to this point. After that, our next episode that'll be on Friday is going to be reading the November issue of Softline Magazine, where we'll get some previews of arcade gaming, Apple and Atari home computing, and even more video games that you must buy for the holiday season. That's it for today, and like I always say, I'll see you in the arcade. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.